Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for tuning in with the YOUS, guys. We're about to go live. Just wanted to give you a behind the scenes of what it looks like constantly when we are working our blood, our sweat, and our tears like this German fuck. Like,
Insta live, we going live soon. Give me a second.
He's gonna roll a joint. Anyways, you could tell we've done an amazing array of research for tonight. It has taken a lot of time, a lot of googling. All this required a lot of googling. Tonight's episode is going to cover the beauty topic of the main theories of Endgame, what's going to happen in Endgame, and how the MCU is going to transition. But let me give you a tour of the households. This is what it looks like when does the bad things. Don't do this, You've never watched the Dare campaigns. This is Noreen in the kitchen. Noreen, what are you doing?
That's kind of sexist.
Noreen, why is that sexist? Because you're in the...
This is Noreen, the only female that's ever been on the show in the kitchen.
Hey, I didn't say it. She was in the kitchen. And,
Wait, you're live? Oh my god. I'm drinking. That's what I'm doing in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. So you weren't cooking then?
Actually, I'm just finishing up the dinner that my fiance made for me. So, no, I'm not cooking.
Wow. All right. Okay, hope you guys tuned in for the episode. You guys are going to cover the main theories of Endgame, what they're going to do, and how the MCU is going to move on forward from this. This is a 30-minute special. Fortunately, Sean Magers had to go to the doctor's office. STDs. Protect yourself. Be protective in relationships.
Wear
Whatever you do,
protection.
just make sure you just wear protection. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. We wish the best for Sean, his family, and
we're gonna start a GoFundMe. We're gonna get a bunch of flowers.
We're gonna do
for
a GoFundMe. Yep, exactly.
So you can go ahead and donate
what's
directly.
helping to his genitalia, and we will do well. And Noreen's right; it's not funny.
Yeah,
So
it's a
go
serious
ahead.
condition.
The link's in the bio. Go ahead and join us. It'll be a good episode, all about Endgame and the theories within it. It's going to be a 30-minute episode. Join us.
30-minute episode.
It's only 30 minutes?
I'm just saying that.
Alright, let me spark it. And then we can go.
Oh my god. Still not in. You want even more?
Well, you can put it out if you don't want the rest. Or you can smoke it all. I kind of would like a little bit more. We should put music on or something.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see your request. Do you want to do it? All right. We'll do another live. I'll be there in a second. All right.
Would you bring me 2 beers in a second? Actually, no. I'll just grab them now.
Hey, we're back actually. The YOUS guys again. We are about to start the episode. It's gonna start in a few minutes. It's actually live right now. So if you just go on the link, we're gonna be on. You can hear us right now. It's awkward because we're not really on the show, but people watching the show are actually watching us.
We are back.
Well, he means he's back. I was always here, really. You know what I mean?
The show is a go.
Anyways,
the show is a go.
Hey, how's it going? Same two guys that were here before. Nice to have you guys back with us once again. And
who's that?
And here we are with Sean Magers. He couldn't make it, and this is him live from the doctor's office. Sean, we're waiting for you to join.
First of all...
Yes, Sean. Oh, what doctor's office is that?
First of all, Noreen is sexist, okay? All you did is point out she was in the fucking kitchen. She had to make it about sex, okay?
I do agree.
Therefore, she is the sexist one.
I do agree.
The problem with feminism going on in the country, okay?
We're gonna do Sean in the hot seat.
Absolutely.
From afar.
I believe these are brilliant
Hey,
points.
let me see Sean. Let me see Sean. There he is.
I believe this is a great
That
point
fucking
that
guy
I
is.
was not the one, and thank you for verifying the fact that I, of course, was not the one that was guilty of feminism. I've always loved
I'm
men.
guilty of feminism.
What?
Just, I want to tell our 5 fans watching.
It's 6 now, actually. Well, actually.
I'm not on the show tonight. I got previous things to take care of, like sitting in this chair. No, I do got things I got to do in a little bit.
Yeah, evidently Sean has
This is
things.
actually a pretty good moment. This is a good moment for us because you said you were going to work.
Let's have him cleared up. Ooh, that's some stuff. That's some stuff. There's some stuff going on.
Do you remember correctly? You said you went fucking. That doesn't look like work. Who was she in the background? Who was she in the background? I just saw a girl.
All right, Sean.
Who was she?
All right, Sean. We better see you in the chat room, Sean.
That's the closet. That's where.
Fuck you. I saw her. I saw her. I saw her.
All right, we are back. It is the YOUS guys -1.
-1.
-1. It's me and Jonathan here this evening. Sean, if you're watching the Instagram live, he has some sort of issues. He's got some issues going on, but he'll be back next. Hopefully next week. We'll see what his schedule looks like. For the love of God, but Game of Thrones doesn't happen all the time, so we'll let him off the hook this time. I don't know where he's at in the chat room currently, but hopefully he gets in here soon. We are back, and we have theories.
Yeah, we did a lot of research.
Fan theories.
Over a lot of beers, basically.
We've been pouring over the data.
What's going on in Endgame, and so we did our homework. We looked at all the ridiculous theories, all the pretty reasonable theories, all the this is most likely going to happen, and very highly predictable type of theories about Endgame.
Yeah,
how Thanos
my number
defeated. Also, predictions and theories on where the MCU goes
I don't know if you
after
can see it.
Endgame. So these are the things we're going to cover over the next 30 minutes or so. Can we go over 7 theories in 30 minutes? I don't really fucking
that
know.
camera's
But
not any
am I
better.
curious as to whether we can do it? I am very curious as to whether we can do it. So we're going to try to cover 7 theories in 30 minutes. We'll see how we do.
7 theories. I think that's
So-
reasonable.
Yeah. So let's start with where we left off at, Infinity War. And the reason we want to do this episode is, one, as Reed already said, we have Sean absent either because of venereal diseases, or 2, he swapped shifts with a person so that way you can have the 13th off to go see the Game of Thrones. We just did a live with him. Or it's for whatever it was, the 13th.
I thought it was earlier.
We just did a live with him and saw him in his room, so it was
Insta-live.
probably the
Interesting transition
the
for
first,
us.
First reason, not the second latter reason.
Yeah.
But regardless, so that's why we're doing a special. In this episode of the YOUS guys, we are just covering one thing, and that is one thing only: theories about Endgame, what it's gonna do for the future of Marvel, and what's gonna happen inside that fucking 3 hour and 2 minute.
Because they can do a
orgasm.
lot. They can do a lot.
They could do a lot. So where were we left off at? We were left off at with Infinity War. And Infinity War, we have the snap happen, of course. And where does that
the
leave
biggest
us?
thing.
That
Yeah.
leaves us with Nebula and Iron Man on Titan, stranded with no ship, just sitting on that planet. They don't even get along. I don't even think they said that many lines to each other. So these are 2 characters that are highly non-developed. And we know because of the preview and the trailer that came out for Endgame that Iron Man finds himself alone in a ship. So something's going to happen between him and Nebula when they're on Titan, which is going to be an
Has to
interesting
be.
dynamic. And then we have the people left on Earth, which is the Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, War Machine, Wong, Hawkeye, and Yuki, however you pronounce her name, the one with the badass spear. And so those are the heroes left on Earth. And then we have
What about Hawkeye?
Hawkeye.
Did you say him already, though?
Actually, I didn't. Hawkeye. Yeah, we also got Hawkeye with his family.
Yeah, because it's been
then-
teased at least.
Yes, it's been teased, that he becomes Ronin in Endgame.
with
And
his
then we also
costume.
have Ant-Man vaguely on Earth, vaguely in the quantum realm, which means he's really nowhere. That's going to be also another really
that
interesting
yours?
one. These 2 are mine. Then we have Ant-Man in the quantum realm, which is going to be another interesting transition to Endgame because...
Did you know one?
No, I have.
I
This
have
one
two open ones. Okay, you continue.
It's just going to be another interesting transition because you have Ant-Man in the quantum realm. He needed the machine to get out of the quantum realm. If you remember the end of that really shitty movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
What a disappointing snooze fest.
They need the machine to get out of the quantum realm. And so that's going to be another interesting part.
The machine was just like the one that's posted up on the parking garage.
Yeah. And because they all got snapped out of existence, it's going to be interesting to see how Ant-Man gets out of the
what the
quantum realm.
fuck happens
And
with
that's
that?
probably going to be a lesson for later in the movie.
That might be an indication of a particular theory that's pretty high on the list.
Which actually will be our seventh theory. It'll be our
the final
all
one?
end. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get back to Ant-Man at the end as that's our seventh theory. And then
which I think is one of the most practical ones, but we'll get to it. We'll get to that's why it's at the later part.
And then we have Captain Marvel somewhere in the galaxy at the end of Infinity War. We have Thanos. Maybe in the Soul Stone, maybe on Titan 2, according to the Russo brothers. Anyway, so that's where we leave off. That's where the characters are. That's where the heroes are. And now we find ourselves in the nimble, skeleton, bare-bones shit show of the trailers we've been given thus far, which is excellent marketing because we don't know shit about
Yes, and also,
Endgame.
it might be edited out of the final cut of the movie anyway, so we might not even seen any of the actual footage.
Right, exactly, yeah. And so I mean, this is what they get to do. They jerked us off for 10 years, and the climax of it, Endgame, doesn't really have to explain a lot. We're all going to see it nonetheless, which makes the theories interesting. And it makes them compelling because we really are just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall, so let's dig deep.
And they have a lot of data to go off of.
Yeah.
Got a lot of shit. And on top of that, the whole, Captain Marvel and then Endgame consecutively, it's a big turnaround. I don't know a lot of movies movie sort of studios that could do that successively.
Oh, fuck no. No studio's ever done it before successfully.
Yeah. I mean, this is ambitious.
And we don't know, and they're, Kevin Feige called this the Infinity, right? That's what he called it? The Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
And then
we're gonna see the next generation soon enough,
and after the fact, they're gonna do it, but I don't know if they can do it this successfully. Like this, I hope the second generation is
hopefully Marvel fatigue doesn't kick in like extreme, like Star Wars fatigue. Well, but Star Wars went wrong, kind of. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know my opinion of like Solo. Taking the Star Wars sort of train and driving it down. Hopefully it'll get revived with the Disney streaming service shows, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so here we go. Let's start the theories. Number one theory that we have, and this isn't in order of correctness. This isn't in order of like what we think about them. Actually, it is. The order goes from most practical, reasonable to whoa. That's it.
Interesting. Right. Yeah.
Number one is the Endgame puts into motion what causes the future Avengers, the new Avengers. This is an extremely reasonable theory.
This one, huh?
Because we know characters are going to die in this one. We know it's highly likely Captain America dies, for example. We know it's probable that Tony Stark dies. We know that maybe some side residual characters, like maybe the Hulk, will be killed. Like these other questions about actors and actresses who have been in it for a really long time and they may not want to fulfill their contracts. These type of characters, they may die. That leaves room for the new Avengers. So there's a formula with Marvel. It's a pretty simple one too. Yeah. Which is
that's a dope theory.
Equals B. Ending equals beginning. This is what they've been genius at.
Okay, so it's gonna be full fucking circle, basically.
Like at the end of every credit scene, at the end of every movie, they started giving you Samuel L. Jackson like starting to form the Avengers. Like the ending is always formed the beginning. So this is the ending. This is the climax to the entire Infinity Saga of the 22 movies, the 10 years. It's all done now, and they've always had the formula: an end causes a beginning, because that's what gets people to go to the theaters. That's what causes us to get money at Marvel, at Disney. So E equals B. They create the new Avengers. What are your thoughts? Who do you think's in the new Avengers?
Well, I mean, do you think that there will be original Avengers that are grandfathered in?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they kill all of them. I think that there's a good chance like the Thor or Hulk stay. I think.
What about like the
Thor
Spider-Mans?
stays. Oh well, Spider-Man.
Or is he the
well, yeah,
new
I think
generation?
Spider-Man has. Well, he kind of is, right? So like,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long
yeah.
as, and we'll get to the time and resurrecting those characters a little bit later. But like Spider-Man definitely, I think will be an Avenger for sure. Yeah, and I think that'll be really dope movies because we haven't had an Avengers movie that was like strictly with like, he's writing to himself about himself. It's actually really sad. He's gone down a very bottomless pit hole that he's writing about himself right there. Sorry, we're just commenting on
Third
Sean
person.
Magers talking about Sean Magers right now. Anyways, so the new Avengers. What's interesting about what happened at the end of Infinity War in the comic books
Yeah.
was Nebula
I don't
actually
know.
stole the gauntlet from Thanos, took it, and then took the gauntlet, and then reversed everything that happened in time. And when that reversal of time happens, basically she just
for you, Sean.
splooshed a bunch of like, just kind of jerked off a bunch of like new villains into the universe. So then, like, the theory is that we will have a clear understanding of who the new Avengers are.
Ouch.
And we will have a clear understanding of who all the new villains are. So one theory is that this movie is partly about setting up the new Avengers and setting up the new major villains, the new major Thanoses. And
Who the hell? Well, then, I mean, so this is going to be you think that, one speculation, obviously, Thanos is done. There's no Thanos coming back or like a scenario in which he's not dead. This is the final movie for Thanos.
I think we're done with Thanos because they're not. There's
So
no
Josh
reason to carry
Brolin.
him off into the there's other major villains, and
Gunzo.
one thought is that another major villain that will be birthed into this is actually Death, because Death is who Thanos falls in love with in the comic books. So there is speculation
That
that
what do you
Death,
mean? I heard he don't die.
but he got to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he will die, and
Rick
he'll be done.
Grimes.
Okay, so that is the first theory. The first theory is reasonable. It's kind of fucking obvious. We don't even need to say really it's a theory. It's just what's gonna happen. Of course, this will set up the new Avengers. Of course, this will set up who's gonna be the next villain. They're gonna keep tension. That's a cool thing to think about. Who's going to be the new Avengers? Who's going to be the new villains? It's a predictable theory, but it's still exciting to think about. So let's move on to the second one.
Okay.
The second theory about Endgame involves around the Soul Stone theory, which is that nobody actually died theory, is what that is, right? So what this means is that all the heroes that were snapped out of existence are actually just really living in the Soul Stone, in that nice orange world where Thanos saw
which would make
his
a lot
young
of sense.
daughter Gamora, and like said
They could explain a lot in
was
a
it worth
simple
it?
way.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was worth it. Or did you what did you lose? I lost everything. Was it worth it? Yes, right? When that moment happened in Infinity War, that is the Soul Stone. And so this theory says that it didn't snap people out of existence, it snapped people into the Soul Stone. So this to me is actually a really popular theory. A lot of people have been spouting this out for about a year. What are your thoughts on it? I'll tell you after.
I like it. It makes sense given the universe, given what's kind of shooken down. But if they were to do that, it just kind of like it feels almost lazy. I don't think they would actually do that. I think like maybe if that is, maybe it's somehow woven into the narrative. But even if that was the case in the narrative, I don't think that they would really reveal it until a consequential scene anyway. Like, I don't know how they would access it, but they would have to access it and be like, oh, there's people in here. I don't think it would be a tease like, oh, here's the people, here's the obstacle. It's like, no, that's not that formulaic. It's not that simple. I feel like even if that were the case, they wouldn't go into as much detail. They would leave it for one of those later sort of trophies after one scene. After
narrative wise, it'd be hella tough to do. But my main problem with this theory is like, so what the fuck is going on? Are these heroes just like chilling in like Havana in the Soul Stone? Like, is Spider-Man just on a beach getting a fucking margarita? Like, what the fuck does that look like? A bunch of heroes chilling in the Soul Stone. Like, are they just chilling? Or that's exactly. Are there criminals in the Soul Stone? Or are they just like
floating around
we're
space?
in a Soul Stone. This is pretty.
You remember how
Thor
Thor was floating around space when they found him? The Guardians.
Yes. Yeah.
I imagine it to be like that, but orange.
Right, that's what doesn't make sense to me. It's like, what is the visual of them, like, did Spider-Man find a New York City in the Soul Stone to, like, fucking protect
They're
and
just,
shit?
it's zero
Like,
gravity. They're just like floating.
it's weird to me, but maybe it's a thing, and maybe we're just fucking attacking the potentially
so
stupid
if this
visuals
premise
of it.
is
But,
true, though, Gamora is there definitely.
well, Gamora would definitely be there, because Gamora was sacrificed for, like, the Soul
right,
Stone
for him to get it to begin with.
So she would definitely be there. I mean, that's probably the best argument for why this theory is correct, is that it's the only way they get Gamora back, and we obviously know Gamora does come back because of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's how Spider-Verse started? What do you mean?
That's not really how Spider-Verse started, but we are going to get to a theory that is kind of like how Spider-Verse started. Actually, you said good points, so I don't know what you're reacting to. The Soul
Stone, yeah.
Well, kind of. I mean, if I understand that movie correctly, Kingpin was just like using some fucking collider science to like create access to the multiverse. I don't know if I don't remember.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. He was trying to get back to his family.
Right, but it wasn't a Soul Stone.
No, not necessarily, but
yeah,
maybe
but
the
kind of. We're gonna get
similar.
to a theory, Sean, that's kind of more along the lines of the like that collider multiverse technology.
I know it's really not really you jerk.
Oh, okay, there you go. All right, cool.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get to a theory that's kind of like that. But anyways, that is the one thing that gives credence to the Soul Stone argument, is that Gamora does have to be back for a third Guardians of the Galaxy. The only way she comes back is if this thing that caused people to be gone is caused by the Soul Stone, because that is the way you get Gamora back, while also at the same time getting all the other characters back.
That makes sense.
So,
and that would be a logical sort of leap.
Yeah, so that's why we put it at number 2. It does explain how we so easily get Gamora back, is if this all kind of has to do with the Soul Stone, and the ability to take lives away like that has to do with the Soul Stone also. So that's why it's number 2 on our list for most practical, reasonable explanations and predictions, theories for Endgame. So now let's move to number 3. The number 3 theory we have is Avengers Master Time.
Master Time.
Number 2 or something.
I thought this was the last one.
No, that's definitely not the fucking last one.
Yeah.
Last one is like the most ridiculous theory. But
is it the G?
yeah.
Okay.
So the third one is basically saying that the Avengers Master Time. This is the initial prediction everyone was talking about right after Infinity War happened. Everyone was very clear on, they're gonna somehow steal or gain control back of the Time Stone and reverse everything. Like, if you bring into light a time manipulator, obviously it's easy to kill off a bunch of characters because you can use the time manipulator to get the characters back. So this has been probably the most reasonable, popular theory out there. Also, Bob Iger, the president of Disney, said that there's going to be different realms. That's where it gets interesting. It's because he talks about a space in
really
Endgame where we transcend geography and where we transcend time, which means that the Avengers are going to use time and go back to defeat them. And we've also known from set pieces while this movie was being made that some of the characters are wearing original costumes of the original Avengers of 2012.
Which they could be doing flashbacks.
They could be doing flashbacks, but why?
Maybe it calls for it. Maybe there's a certain sort of piece of information they need.
It could be.
To have a flashback. But at the same time, they could do flashbacks from the old movies, but that would be kind of difficult.
That is true. My theory about it is that this is kind of just my personal interjection on this theory, which is that they have to defeat Thanos to get the Time Stone. So they defeat Thanos, get the Time Stone, and then they have to go back in time, and they go back in time all the way to the original Avengers to defeat Thanos.
Yeah.
Actually in that battle. So that's kind of what I'm guessing, is that they have to win twice.
That would make sense.
And they have to beat Thanos twice.
So they have to beat Thanos twice in a row, basically.
Yeah, but the only thing that trips
instance.
me up about my little prediction there is, like, I'm not sure, like, if that's even good storytelling. It doesn't seem like good.
That's the other thing about these theories, is I think about how they would fit in the narrative overall, and how much it would, like, I don't know, be consistent with all the other stories, but also, like, I don't know, not seem lazy. It seems cool. Like, it's a 3-hour movie. They have a lot of stuff to do.
They have a lot of stuff to do.
sometimes I don't see some of these things viable, but at the same time, this one uniquely seems like the most viable. I think.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I think inevitably it'll have some sort of
and it's the most right there. It's right in front of your
it'll
face.
come to fruition in the actual movie.
Right.
I think definitely. Because I feel like the movie's going to be multi-layered. That's why it's so long. There's going to be like a certain sequence about like trying to do the time stuff. Maybe there's a sequence about like, oh, Captain Marvel's going to come in and like, maybe she's the one that's going to be the deciding factor. Or maybe one of these other theories comes to life later on. But maybe that they're all like stacked and maybe like a few of them fail and one of them works.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of the idea.
Yeah. And actually, if you watch the trailer to Endgame, go ahead and watch the trailer again. It's actually really interesting. If you watch it again, you'll realize Scarlett Johansson's hair. Love you, Scarlett. Scarlett Johansson's hair.
Long or something?
Tells you a lot about some weird type of timeline things that are happening. And I don't know if this is the Russo brothers fucking with us, but if you watch it in Infinity War, Scarlett Johansson's hair is blonde and short. And then we have shots of her in Endgame where it's long red with bleach ends, which is the same color that her hair is, but short in Infinity War. But in the Endgame trailer, we have both versions of Scarlett. We see her with blonde hair. We see her with blonde hair when Thor grabs the axe and looks at Captain Marvel and says, I like this one. She has blonde hair, which means this is shortly after the
events of
Infinity War. That's really interesting because I think everyone really thinks that Captain Marvel comes in and just like fucking saves the day hella quick.
Yeah,
but
that's the obvious answer.
If Scarlett Johansson's looking hella depressed with longer hair that's red and worn out, which must be way after she had the blonde, short, platinum hair when Captain Marvel's there, then it must seem, time-wise, that either Captain Marvel is doing some long-ass mission or they really just don't have a fucking plan, which is very improbable, or Captain Marvel did try to do something, just got her ass beat. Right?
That would make sense. Like, she's just like, wow, he's pretty powerful, especially with that gauntlet.
Like,
shit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because everyone thinks they just up and leave with Captain Marvel. I think that is the impression. Just all like, but if you look at Scarlett Johansson's hair, it tells a different story, guys.
Yeah,
just look at that Johansson hair. It tells a different story.
Johansson.
Also, if you look at God, when was the other scene she had the blonde hair in? But yeah, just go watch it. It'll fuck with your concept of time. As far as what you think is going to happen, you just clicked on Scarlett Johansson hair, didn't you?
No, I said Scarlett Johansson hair meeting Captain Marvel.
Oh, no, just type in not meeting. Type in Scarlett Johansson hair and then just Endgame trailer. No, Endgame trailer.
Okay, that's a better one.
Yeah, Endgame trailer. Anyways, but yeah, so if you just kind of pay attention to her hair,
signal.
Yes, exactly.
Boom, right there. Post in the link.
So when she's looking depressed and sad, she has the long hair. And
the picture's the link, on top right there.
Pop it up, and then she's also with the short blonde platinum hair. Anyways, it'll kind of change your perceptions of when things happen because clearly, even after Captain Marvel gets there, there's a long duration of time where fucking nothing apparently is happening. So that'll be really interesting to see. So what have we got so far? We got the first theory that there's probably going to be this is probably going to set up the future Avengers and also set up the future villains. Tension. This is how Marvel makes money. We have the second theory about the Soul Stone, and they're not really dead. They're inside the Soul Stone. And they're just kind of chilling there with their 60 virgins. We have the third theory that the Avengers master time travel. And this is proven by Bob Iger's statements. It's proven just kind of by fucking plain intuition that there's a time manipulator in the storyline.
Yeah.
And adversely, on as a little sub point, Scarlett Johansson's hair does show us some interesting timeline things.
Try to bring it up.
About the Endgame timeline. So let's go to the fourth theory. The fourth theory is about the Mind Stone. And the Mind Stone being a baddie. So there's a weird theory out there that's basically saying that the Mind Stone controlled Loki. and made him obsessed. The Mind Stone controlled Ultron, and the Ultron became obsessed with making a perfect being. And now the Mind Stone is controlling Thanos, and now the Gauntlet is like the metaphor for what like Vision was to Ultron, and it all has to do with the Mind Stone. So really, if they just kill the Mind Stone, then Thanos will be free, and that's it. So that's the theory, is that the main bad guy isn't Thanos, but the main bad guy is actually... So there's a bunch of Scarlett Johansson hairs there for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm dealing with it.
You didn't do the platinum hair, though. You just had the long red hair. So
That's what the thing said. Is that not the
well,
one?
You didn't scroll down at all in the article. This is the problem with the millennial generation, man. They just look at the titles.
I just thought that was the one. Is it down
see
here?
How did they change it?
Oh, it's right here?
No. Yeah, see on the left. No, you're pointing at Captain Marvel on the left.
This one.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. I'll do it. Yeah.
Her fucking hair is different, guys. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention in trailers, bro. They're showing you clues in trailers.
80.
Anyways, so that's the theory in this fourth theory, is that the Mind Stone has actually been the bad guy. Personally, I think this is a fucking idiotic. I think it's stupid. I hope this isn't true. I don't think it's true. That's why it's fourth down the list.
Right.
Because Thanos wasn't the main villain this entire time. We built up 22 movies in 10 years for a fucking pebble to be the villain. A pebble is the reason Captain Marvel's Captain Marvel. A pebble's the reason that Captain America dies. Come on. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that theory.
That would be silly. That would be silly.
Be terrible.
Like, no, I don't see them doing that at all.
Exactly. So that's why it's fourth down the list. So fuck that theory. That theory gets a giant fail. Fifth theory.
Number 5. We are right on time now.
Nice. Yeah, we're out of time. So the number 5 theory is called the Goose. The Goose theory is as follows.
I wish I had my rap porn.
That would be dope. So the Goose theory is as follows. We have the cat from Captain Marvel, which we now know is a Flurkin. Flurkins in the comic books have a pocket dimension.
Spoiler alert.
It has a door to a different dimension inside of their cheek. So if you enter inside of a Flurkin's cheek, you can enter into different dimensions and transcend time and space.
Oh, wow.
And
no shit.
So the theory here is that they use a Flurkin as a pocket dimension to enter in and save everybody, save all the heroes, because it transcends space and time. It's basically like an alternative way to get into a quantum realm. This is why the cat was able to absorb the tesseract.
Yeah.
And hold it
and
in.
Hold on
it
to
put
it
it in the pocket dimension in its cheek.
That makes a lot of sense now. It's like fucking, it just put that shit away. I was just like, whoa, how does that work?
Yeah,
It's like some Harry Potter shit. They usually got a big ass bag down there. But so it goes into another. But how would you harness that sort of energy? How would you do that? Would you just have to get swallowed by the thing?
What do you mean?
The Tesseract, how would it, or not the Tesseract, but like the
Flurkins?
The Flurkin. How would you get
cheek.
in that pocket dimension in the cheek? Open its mouth?
Oh, yeah, you just open its mouth and walk in. See, that's why the theory is probably not going to happen.
No, I don't know how they could do that visually and not look really weird.
I just want to see the scene where Captain America, Steve Rogers, looks at the Flurkins like, we have to enter the Flurkin's mouth.
We have to do it. It's for the people.
God, please have that scene. Just watch it.
Yeah.
I just want to see a serious scene, a very serious, like the scene where they're in the red and white armor and they're walking in the Avengers airport looking thing.
Yeah.
I just want to see them at the end of that cut scene entering into the cat's mouth. Just dramatically.
Casually.
Dramatically. Like fucking warrior heroes walking boldly. Let's put a little black and white in it, and they enter the cat's cheek, going into the pocket dimension. I fucking love it.
That would be pretty awesome.
So that's the fifth theory. Good stuff on the fifth theory. The sixth theory is just as possible as like the third and second theories, which is Soul Stone and the Avengers Master Time. But the sixth theory is a little bit more nuanced to how the X-Men enter.
Oh, right.
So the sixth theory says basically the multiverse is birthed and exploded into existence during,
is that this one?
No, not that one. Basically, that the multiverse is created by their work in the quantum realm with Ant-Man. And
so they use the quantum verse or the quantum realm to create or to access
to
versus
access,
it's just like a transportation method. Okay.
And so by their transportation through the quantum realm, it opens up multiple verses to become cohesive, essentially.
Right.
And through that, Disney is now able to introduce the X-Men, because Disney's problem right now is in the world that they've created in the Infinity Saga is that there's no mutants on Earth, and X-Men very much acknowledges that there's mutants existing on Earth.
So there's some clash.
There's clash between the worlds. Like, what are you just going to introduce the X-Men like mutants have always been here? Because such a big thing in the storyline and narratives of X-Men is that mutants are everywhere, and so the MCU.
So mutants are different from Skrulls.
From what?
Skrulls.
What do you mean?
Like, mutants are different. Like, you know what Skrulls are? Like, I mean, what are the mutants? It's like, does S.H.I.E.L.D. know about mutants?
Well, that's my point.
Okay.
Is that
you don't know necessarily?
No. Well, okay. So in the world of X-Men, almost everyone knows about mutants. Everyone knows about mutants. They're integrated basically in society in a lot of ways, right? And so there's no denying the existence of mutants. The struggle, like you've seen the original X-Men's.
Yeah.
All right. So it's like that. Like, they're integrated in society.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So
and
it's kind of hard to tell.
The world we live in is that there is a genetic modification that has, induced.
Fuck shit up.
They exist now. They're part of the evolutionary string. And so the problem with the first half of the MCU is that we never had them.
Yeah.
And so how all of a sudden you're about to start an entire storyline with like, oh, we're just mutants. Because we've never,
it's like we've never been introduced or
we've never seen you before.
Right. It's like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah, it is. So
why?
The question is then, how
are they gonna enter that process? How are they gonna?
So one of the theories is that a multiverse splits them in this Earth.
If that did happen, it wouldn't happen for very long, or at least they wouldn't, because that's like so many people in one movie.
It would have to be an end.
It would have to be some sort of like,
thing.
Oh, hey, I see you for a second.
Yeah. No, it would be like a post-credit thing,
right.
where they realize it would be like a Planet of the Apes where he comes back to Earth and then he realizes it's all apes. It would have to be like one of those post-credit scenes where like they realize that like, wait, some people are like fucking weird on Earth all of a sudden, and like oh my god, fucking X-Men is here now, right? Like, that's how that happens.
Yeah. Oh shit. That makes sense.
But as cool as that would be for Marvel to do, it's 6th on the list of reasonable things to happen with Endgame, mainly because Endgame and Infinity War were filmed predominantly when it was not yet clear whether Disney was going to have the merger with Fox.
Oh, because that was still in deliberation.
Yeah,
that
was still in
time.
deliberation.
So now that it's a full go, it's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, now
we're
now
swinging.
Like, you guys should do that, but it's like, well, they already filmed the movie, so
it's hard to incorporate.
It's unlikely that is going to happen.
But still, that would have been a cool mashup. That would have been a cool mashup.
Really difficult.
It would have made a lot of sense. It would have.
But
I think that they could have pulled it off, even if it would have been at a risk of, like, I don't know, detracting from the movie. I think that they would have tried. They would have tried. They would have taken the risk.
No, they would have taken
100%.
For sure. So the last theory. We're at the last theory, and the last theory is... It's a good one. It's a really good one. It's a really good one. Ant-Man goes up the ass and anus of Thanos and builds himself up like he did in Civil War and squeezes outside of the body through the rectum of Thanos and kills Thanos once and for all. How do you think about this?
This one has been getting a lot of traction online.
Yeah, it has.
It has a lot of impeccable
it's a good
logic to it. But here's the thing. Are we really going to watch Paul Rudd climb up his purple ass?
Well, I mean, we may have to. What do you think about the theory, though?
I think that it's silly, but it's something that I could see happening. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's a Deadpool thing. Like, in a Deadpool-esque sort of narrative, I could see that happening. But in the Endgame, it seems so serious. It's like Infinity War was this really grave danger, like scary, like sort of like everyone's afraid, paranoid. But now it's just like we're on the offensive, but we're like obviously unmatched. So it's like you got to pull something from somewhere.
Right. Yeah. No.
You gotta pull something from somewhere. I could see like, you know, like
True principle.
someone in the group introducing the idea and being like, we could do this once Ant-Man. I'm curious as to how I'm fundamentally curious of how Ant-Man gets back. Unless they do some sort of time warp, which we talked about.
Right, yeah.
Which would explain and give them a big credence to do a lot of these things. But at the same time, like, Ant-Man's pretty fucked as it is.
Well, before we get to that, here's my thought on Ant-Man up Thanos' ass theory. I love it. I personally love it. But people aren't really thinking on this one. People aren't really thinking.
No, it could happen. It could be their curveball.
Ant-Man does not have a suit of impenetrability, right? Like, it's not like Captain America's shields that
The
blocks and
vibranium.
stops everything.
Yeah.
This is a tech suit. It induces technological, molecular, ship-shaped and shit, so that way the person's biology can decrease in size and increase in size, right? That's what it is. It doesn't make him stronger if he grows bigger. And the reason I'm saying that is because
so he
it has
just
nothing to do with
maintains
strength. He maintains the
being
same
human.
molecular level
Yeah.
and his same molecular strength. It just decreases and increases the size of it. The reason that's important to understand, and the reason I got to give an F to this theory, even beyond its humor, because some people aren't really fucking thinking on this thing.
Wouldn't be good.
Is that after all the fighting and the explosions and just the shit thrown at Thanos, one lick of blood was made because he's actually indestructible. So if you
With the gauntlet.
explode in size in this guy's ass,
Maybe
think
you're
his
just gonna-
ass would literally just like
He would
eat
just
him.
have to like flex
Like-
his goddamn sphincter.
Yeah, no,
and-
he would become shit, full size shit coming out of Thanos' ass because Thanos'
the
ass
principle
would be stronger.
mean like, okay, so then once he enters like the rectum, would he go big, or
Yeah,
would he have
no,
to like
that's-
go up his colon and shit?
Well, no, that's what I mean. It's like even if
Because I don't think he could get past Thanos shit. What does he eat?
well, I don't know what he eats. Probably
Does he
vegetarian.
shit? Does he have a butt?
I think people like that are vegetarian, but he's purple.
He lives in
Um,
space. I don't know what.
But I think he just becomes mush. You know what I mean? In the rectum. I don't think he outgrows it.
Yeah, it
don't-
doesn't. I
don't think
mean,
he's more
I
powerful than
think
it.
there's a lot of holes in
There's
this
a lot of
one.
holes.
There's a lot of holes in
So
this
that's
one.
why it's 7th on the list. If you were a lover of why doesn't Ant-Man just go up the asshole of Thanos, I'm sorry. You didn't think about it. You're a dumbass.
It's
That
not a good
Would
theory.
literally kill
but
Ant-Man.
I could see
Ant-Man
them
would
doing
die
it,
that
but
way.
I don't know.
That's
That's a bold one. That's a bold one, Cotton.
But it would take a true hero for Ant-Man to go up that asshole.
Yeah, Paul Rudd.
So
Shout
that's why we do put it here. Anyways, so that's been our special.
Yep, that is in-game theory special. Lots of theories. Hopefully we see at least a couple of them make it into the final cut. I mean, I think a couple of them are going to be necessary. I don't know how they're going to do it without a couple of them.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
All right. So this is the part where we do prediction time. Choose one theory. What's your theory? This is your official prediction. You got $30 on the line.
I have $30. Oh, why $30? Okay, I think that definitely then theory number 3. I think that's the most practical, realistic one. I think that the narrative is contingent upon that one.
Shit. All right.
What's yours?
So Reed chooses theory number 3 to be the correct one, which could be correct, in which case you wouldn't owe the $30 to anyone. Which is that the Avengers mastered time travel. All right. So, mine. Putting $30 on the first theory.
Ooh,
that
feature
introduces
agent
villain and the new Avengers.
That's a big one. What if they both
That's
happen?
What?
Then it's a wash.
Then it's a wash, and we just wait for Reed's choice.
Fucking A.
Reed's choice. Sean's choice.
Oh yeah,
of the
Sean is
theories.
gonna put $100 on one.
Yep, and
he's gonna pay both of us
there you go,
$100.
There you go. Those are the 7 theories. It sets up the future Avengers. The Soul Stone. No one really died. Hey, fuck it. You know, you just live in the Soul Stone. You get your virgins. You still on the beach, and
you're
you
just
do things in the
floating
orange
in
fucking
you're
stone.
drinking
you know?
Mai
Fuck it.
Tais.
Fuck the world. You know. And then we got the third one that the Avengers master time travel. The fourth one, which is the Mind Stone, has been the fucking Al Capone of this entire 10-year saga the entire time. We got one with the goose with the the
goosey
flirkin
goose.
and the
goosey
pocket
cat.
dimension in his cheek. We have the multiverse, which ends up introducing the X-Men, which would be really exciting but really improbable at the same time. And then we have Ant-Man being destroyed within the asshole of Thanos. These are all good theories. They're all great theories, but they're in an order for a reason. The top 3 are definitely the most legitimate.
Yep.
But regardless, they're doing a brilliant job with the marketing, the campaigning, the advertising by giving a shit. So then we have to do these type of things where we break down the possibilities.
Yep. And that is the special, everyone. So we will not make any promises here, but we will like to be back on. Sean said Tuesdays, but I don't know when that bid is up or whatever for him. God, I'm glad I'm not on a bid system.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even like the word in the same sentence as work.
You want to be sick? Bid for it, huh?
Hey, I got one. I got two.
Yeah,
Through soul.
Shit
12 to
sucks.
7 a.m.
Sorry, man.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm
That's why
sorry,
you don't get
dude.
venereal
You know
diseases, bro.
that's a reason
your
why.
shit up,
Yeah, dude. I don't know about it.
Stanky ass motherfucker.
Yeah, we do miss
Fucking
Sean though. He'll be
shit,
back.
man.
He'll be back.
You need to get your shit together, bro. Like that's just
Yeah,
stanky.
wrap it
That's
up,
just
bro.
stanky.
Wrap it up.
All
Wrap
your
it up.
crabs
Wrap.
and STDs, they're stanky, man. Just get that shit under.
Next
control,
time
man.
we'll do. We're doing an
I don't
awareness
know what you're
campaign next
doing,
episode.
man.
I'm gonna put something on the
You just
screen.
out there, man, getting STDs and shit. It's
All right,
nasty.
yeah, that's the
That
use,
shit
guys. Follow us on the
man.
socials on the screen. Go
I
and
honestly
follow
like
him
to sound
on
like
his
just take a
socials.
shower with that shit. You know what I mean? Like, fucking
Yeah,
clean it up, bro.
okay. Enough on the Sean's. Follow the
That's some, like,
socials. That's use, guys.
antibiotics,
We
man.
out.
Like, go to the doctor,
Peace.
dude. Just go to